everyone, and welcome to the 49th episode of Slime Time, the official Dragon Quest Dragon's Den podcast. This is Plattym3.
And this is Liamland. So I started a game of Dragon Quest Walk recently, just taking advantage of the fact that I'm in Japan and can play it. But I don't have the Japanese Google Play Store, and researching it was kind of a pain in the ass to switch my my Play Store, because then it locks it in for a year. So I went old school, like when we used to do Dragon Quest Monsters Super Light, and I downloaded the APK file, and it was great. It worked for about a week before I then had to go and download another APK file. So it's interesting because I'm on Ishigaki. There are a lot of slimes and drakis everywhere. I know that the monster difficulty increases as you level. So right now I'm still at the point where I'm just fighting slimes, but it was cool. I got to fight some slimes at the police station across the street. I fought some drakis in the park on the other side. And it's funny, I was even sitting in the passenger seat while my wife was driving, and I booted it up, and the guy was like walking super fast because we're driving in the car. So it was kind of cool. At one point, she was in shopping and the kids were asleep, so I just got out of the car and I walked past the parking lot into this like neighborhood area where there was this timed Draki fight, just to find out what happens when you fight one of them that's like timed or whatever. So then I come back to the car, and my wife's waiting there, and she pretty much thought I was like out taking a leak somewhere, just publicly urinating. And then I just had to explain to her, no, I was actually playing Dragon Quest Walk, which she was not impressed with. So
how are the battles?
The battles are pretty simple so far. I only have one character. I haven't figured out how to get new characters yet, and I've kind of been pinging Christoph on the side, who was on our Luida's Bar episode, and but the battles are basically very similar to the way they were on Super Light, where you just tap and you tap the monster, and then the player jumps in and attacks. But there's some other photo features that I'm still trying to figure out, where once you capture a monster, you can take a picture of it anywhere. So you take like a real life picture, and then the monster's like in the picture, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, I'd love to kind of find someone who has played this thoroughly and understands it and can translate it into what's happening in English and how it works, and maybe interview them sometime. So I think that would be kind of interesting.
Oh man! Oh.
Okay. Was that?
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm gonna go back and mod in a joke right there later. It's what we're doing tonight. We're talking modding, so it'll be fine. Continue, because I know you're on the search for something else too, not just walking around.
Oh yeah. So just don't forget to mod that joke in, or it's just not going to make any sense.
Of course. Yeah. I got it.
All right. Well, I've got Switch OLED updates, unfortunately. Unfortunately. So Gio is the only store in Ishigaki that sells video games, has a lottery for the Switch OLED, which is actually called Switch Organic EL here. That rolls right off the tongue. And so the lottery is actually for buying one at retail price due to the high demand. At retail price. Otherwise, you have to go on Amazon or eBay or Mercari for the fuck you in the ass scalper price of $500 instead of $350. There's StubHub capitalism once again ruining it for the masses. So that's it. It's not likely. And also, right after that, we found out that the lottery for it ended yesterday. So. So we missed that entirely. We're not going to be able to get one of these for a while. So yeah, but I finally got my wife to agree to it, so that's something. Maybe 2022 will be the year for us.
That's what the whole world's hoping. Oh, so not happy with the capitalism, people ruining it for the masses.
Yeah, that's StubHub for you. They do it with every concert.
I totally did that with my opening day Buccaneers tickets.
Oh, I see.
I sold my $150 two tickets for $700. Couldn't get a babysitter for opening night, and
Yeah, I'm sure that more than covered it.
That covered about a third of my season costs. So thanks, StubHub capitalism. But
you're breaking my heart here.
I know.
Did you buy up all the Switches into Shigaki? Is that what you did?
No, but remember during the pandemic, the day I found the brand new Switch with the better battery, and then I sold my old Switch, like original model, with Joy-Con drift for more than I bought the brand new one for.
Oh man,
I was really upfront about it, but
that
college kid really wanted it.
As long as you were upfront about the drift.
Yep, I was like, hey.
Otherwise, that would have been really messed up.
OG model Switch, a little bit of drift in the left Joy-Con.
Like new.
$350.
Let's just put like new as is.
Like new.
All right.
It was very clean, scratch-free. But, okay, enough about you and me. Let's get to talking tonight more about modding, unlike my joke earlier. But modding 3DS games, DQ games with music. Get the good stuff on there. You may know him as SnubSlime on YouTube or JXRS on Discord. We've got Jason with us tonight. Jacob! Sorry, Jacob!
Hey, what's up?
Mod that out.
Good to be here.
There's more modding we need to do. All right. Okay. Welcome, Jacob.
Yes.
So before getting down to the details about 3DS modding, let's talk a bit about Jacob.
Yes. All right. So Jacob, we just gave away a couple of your online aliases, handles.
Including Jason.
What's with those? and maybe even Jason. Where'd you get those usernames? Like your YouTube channel has got the obviously the SnubSlime in it. You've got the DQ reference. Where'd you get those names from?
So while I was playing Dragon Quest XI, so I made that account during December, and that's actually when I first played Dragon Quest XI because it came to Game Pass. Mm-hmm. I played Dragon Quest before. I just haven't played 11 because I never got around to buying it. I played the demo on Switch. It was very fun. I liked it, but I never bought it. When it came to Xbox, I had Game Pass, so I was like, oh great, new game I can play. So, I get to the part where I see a King Slime, and it says, King Slime uses Snub. I didn't know what that did. I don't know what it means. I just thought it was funny, so I'm like, okay, let's put these two together, Snub and Slime, and there, username. So, that's it. And the JXRS, that's just, that's basically my name. That's literally my name, my initials, but without the X.
Okay.
So I basically just, so.
There you go.
Nice.
Yep. It's okay. One of our last guests was like, her Twitter handle, everything was just her name, and I'm like, well, this question failed, so.
I can't really.
How'd you get your name?
Yeah.
Oh, how do I get my name? Well, somewhere around 2000, somewhere 2001, 2002. Okay. Anyway.
Once upon a time, a man and a woman.
So, and on that note, so how did you originally get into the Dragon Quest series?
So, I have been a fan for around, 3 years maybe. I haven't been a long-time fan, but I've known what Dragon Quest was for a very long time due to Fortune Street, having that on the Wii. I saw the slime. I never knew where it was from. But, back then, I grew up with Square Enix games such as Final Fantasy because my older brother played a lot of Final Fantasy games throughout, while we were growing up. I just never heard of Dragon Quest because he never bought a Dragon Quest game. So, years to come, I see, the Dragon Quest Your Story movie. I watch that. I like it. The demo comes out for 11. I play it. I like it. I buy 11, or actually I get it on Game Pass. I like it. And then, from the rest of that, I have a bunch of Dragon Quest merch. I have all 4 games on Famicom. I have Metal Slime 3DS, and that's where the modding comes in. So, yeah.
Awesome.
That's
so you
cool.
Have you played Dragon Quest V at all? Did you see the movie before playing 5?
No. So when I watched the movie, I thought it was a completely new movie. Until I started getting into Dragon Quest, I was like, wait a minute. This is Dragon Quest V, because
this sounds
I played
familiar.
Dragon Quest V. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, this is very familiar to a game I'm playing right now. So, I wish I wasn't introduced to the series that way, but, that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a good thing they put it on Netflix, because, more young, because that movie's introduced to kids, so, more kids are going to see it and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I love Dragon Quest. I remember back in December for Christmas. I remember I'd see parents buying Dragon Quest XI for their kids. I was very surprised by that because like the person at the counter was like, "Huh, surprising seeing people buy this. This game's usually sold out in Japan." So big impact.
Awesome.
I know. Yeah, my 5-year-old. So he would have been like 3 when that came out. Just kind of ended when that movie came out, and that's still like one of the ones he talks about more than anything. Because I mean, he's not really played the games. He'll look over my shoulder if I'm playing one of the monster games, or his 8-year-old brother beat Dragon Quest Monsters 2 this summer and played it for like 75. Actually, he played it almost 100 hours. He put in way more time than I did. He just kept breeding and breeding and breeding stronger monsters. But yeah, that's like when he talks about Dragon Quest, he's like, remember in the movie this happened? And remember in the movie? And like, that's what he wants to ask. Because really, it's the only Dragon Quest like media that he can go turn on the TV and go to Netflix and find it and watch it right now if he wanted.
Nice. I'm still in the back of my head. I'm like, I want to work on an edit that just edits out the ending.
Yeah, definitely. When I first watched that, I was like, oh, yeah, it's kind of.
It's even a more satisfying ending if they just like seal the portal and Nimzo never shows up.
Yeah, no, that's good.
But yeah, so I haven't watched that one with my 4-year-old yet, but we are playing Dragon Quest V on Super Famicom right now. And he picked. I let him pick the bride, so he picked Flora or Nira, which is who I would have picked. But then he didn't really understand the scope of what was going to happen there. So we're journeying now with the new bride. And maybe 5 minutes after he made the decision, he goes, "Daddy, where's Bianca?"
Oh.
Oh yeah, son, about that.
Japanese version, I'm assuming.
She's she's well, it's a fan translation by
okay.
BU and SP Spiff. But yeah, so he didn't really understand the concept of someone, two people of unrequited love, basically. If the hero picks between two girls and both of them are into him, the other one's not going to tag along. So.
Yeah.
So, out of the games that you've played, what have been your favorite ones in the DQ series, either the mainline or the spin-off ones that you've played so far?
So my favorite mainlines are Dragon Quest VII, Dragon Warrior 7 on the PS1. I really like that game.
Yeah,
I know. I really like that game. I like the battle music. That's I don't know why. I just really like the battle music in that one. I like the story. It's really good. I played the 3DS version. It's really good too. I'm actually on the 3DS version because I already beat the PS1 version. So I'm like, okay, why not? And guess what I did? I put the original Japanese version music in there instead of the MIDI version. So,
that's kind of why you're here tonight.
Nice.
Yes.
So did you do that on okay, I guess we'll get into that in a bit. But are you playing it on just out of curiosity, are you playing it on a 3DS?
Oh, yes, definitely. I am playing it.
You are? Okay, so all right, so this was like a flash cart mod?
It's not a flash cart. I modded my 3DS to do this with an SD card.
Interesting. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit.
And about my spin-offs, I like Dragon Quest Heroes 2 for the PS4. I like the hack and slash. I also like Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 3. I played that a little bit on my 3DS.
Ooh, yeah.
I like the original
That's what I played
Monster
this
games.
summer.
So, and Rocket Slime. That's a really good one. I like that one.
Yeah. I almost feel like there really isn't a bad spin-off, is there? For Dracway. All right, don't say Caravan Heart, because I did put. That's not
how many hours did you put into that?
Quite a few.
Yeah,
I did the whole post game and everything, and did everything. But even like Swords, I know you're on the rail on that one, but it's still fun. It's still really really good.
I never played Swords. I should get to that at some point. I don't have a Wii because I sold it to my neighbor. So, but I kept my Japanese orange GameCube, and that's actually something I'm gonna fix when the tools arrive. So,
nice. Is that a Samus Aran skinning of the GameCube?
No, it's the orange GameCube. I bought it off Meraki for like $45 with Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2. So,
oh, gotcha.
The laser isn't spinning correctly, so I have to open it and do a tweak to it.
Yeah, I know that the Wii can play GameCube games, but I always kept my Wii I always kept both.
I like the design of the GameCube, and I kind of, I grew up with the GameCube. I grew up with the PS2 and the GameCube.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I love the GameCube. I've got the GBA connector. That's the other reason why I wouldn't sell it.
Oh yeah, I love that thing.
It's just perpetually docked on the GBA. For when it's got the little boot. Oh, Pac-Man Versus is fantastic.
Dude, I love that game.
Yeah.
That game came off the Switch, and I bought it immediately. I mean, it was $30 because it was on collection, but I still bought it. And me and my friend used to locally play it, but wish it was online.
It comes with what, Pac World 2 or something like that.
Yeah, it comes with Pac-Man.
Yeah, I think I played that like once, and then it's just the other one is just Pac-Man Versus with all my buddies and the GBA connector. It's pretty much like Kill the Carrier, where the ghosts can only see some of the map. It's such a great little party game. And then the I think they came out with another version of it for the arcade. It's the same name, but it's like they call it Pac-Man Versus, but it's everyone gets to be Pac-Man in that one.
Yeah, I know it's Battle Royale. I think I remember that. I played out at Dave & Buster's, but they did re-release it for the DS with the Namco collection. So that's kind of cool.
Awesome.
Like the original GameCube version, but it was kind of like ported down for the DS limitations.
So you had do you play it locally or you connect?
Well, when I was a child, when I was when the Switch version came out, I played it locally. When the DS version came out, I played it locally. But with the GameCube version, I never got to play it because I had no one else to, play it with.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Except we had this one guy who was just like insanely good at it, and so it was basically the three of us trying to gang up on him, just make sure he doesn't get Pac-Man because he's just gonna just dominate and win all the points, and we can't catch up to him. But yeah, that's a great game. So do you have any favorite or least favorite characters or monsters?
Man, that's a tough one. So if I was gonna say, if we're gonna start from Dragon Quest VII, I guess I'd say one of my favorite characters in that game is Prince Kiefer. That's how you pronounce it. I like him.
Yep.
Cool character. Least favorite character, I think Serena from Dragon Quest XI.
Oh yeah. Which
I don't know. Is that her name? Yeah. Man, let me think. Probably Act 1. I didn't really like her that much.
I would say Act 3 just because she was so cool in Act 2, and then they downgrade her for Act 3.
yeah, definitely.
Cut half your skills, go back, grow your hair.
Yeah, exactly. That's just
skills. You're half a Serena again.
They demoted her from being a sage.
Well, one of my favorite monsters, though, I like the colorful slimes. Like, not the blue slime, but like the cherry slime, especially the lemon slime.
Nice.
That's the Joker. Your Joker 3 is showing.
Yeah, I know. I love the lemon slime. So
my kids were so excited this summer to realize that there's so many different colors of slimes.
Yeah,
it's cool actually.
Yeah,
at the different events that they have in Japan, I think there's one going on right now for the 35th anniversary at Artnia, and then there's another one at Dragon Quest Island. They have the different colored slimes so you basically go to the different events and you can only buy that color slime at that event.
Like so for plushies or
plushies, yeah. So and sometimes the popcorn buckets too, the King Slime popcorn buckets. So they have the onion slime at the island event going on right now, and I think I saw the lemon slime. I believe either at Artnia or Luida's bar. I don't know. I'm going to be going there in about a week, so I'll keep an eye out for it, but yeah, it's interesting. Those different colored slimes will show up at various events like that, just as the unique plushie for that event.
That's cool. Yeah, with the perler beads, when we started really doing a lot of perler beads about a year and a half ago, a slime is something very easy that I could outline and then the kids fill in. So they made, I think we've got like a dozen of them that are all different colors. They made the brown one and called it the poop slime. And
that's just a poo emoji.
Yeah, it is at that point. And then I made one. My son wanted to make a rainbow one, but it wasn't like fitting, so I made one like twice as big, and so he could get all the colors in the rainbow, and they're just perfect. And they really liked that one. So to then see all this. All the other types, like when I'm playing Joker 3, and like I was like, oh hey, that yellow one that you've got, you can start calling it the lemon slime and the lime slime and the cherry slime and the the purple one's the berry slime. So They were like,
You know,
oh,
I know there's going to be
names to
people
these.
that are going to like, I know those slimes are pretty cool. I like those slimes. Also like the cyborg slime. That one looks
Oh
kind of cool.
yeah.
Reminds
he
me
looks
of
like
Mother 3 a little bit, with the chimera kind of stuff like
He
that.
back
He's
in the day, he
basically
was
the
called
Borg, right?
Slimeborg. It was
Yeah, yeah.
Slimeborg.
This is
And
a
now
Star Trek
he's
reference.
Yep.
Oh, that's nice.
But yeah, in everything since he's Cyber Slime. So
Yeah, I got like the Cyber Slime, the Lemon Slime, and like Dragon Quest Tactics. So,
mhm.
it's pretty cool to have those guys.
So
Nice.
there's one random dude out there. I played a lot of Joker 3 Professional this summer. That's what I was playing. And some random Japanese dude is on there all the time. I used to encounter him almost I think I'd be on the morning, so he was on at night. And he would just have these teams of level 1, all the different colored slimes. And like every day he'd have a different team of them. So I could encounter this guy every day, beat his team, and recruit one with the Street Pass function built into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where in the game you get those, or if they were like exclusives over there somehow. But like I'm like, wow, there's just one guy out there in Japan just every day.
It might be a meme or something over there, just like play with like level 1 slimes, like all types. It's kind of funny.
I'm assuming he just did it to spread them around because that was the whole point. Like I could tag him once a day and recruit one of his slimes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's like the people who would just set up Dragon Quest 9 maps in canvas mode and just like or the tag mode and just leave it sitting there for people to walk by at a train station or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty cool. All right, so before we get talking to your modding, we got one last question here. Do you have any favorite mechanics that stick out for you in DQ games? Like, do you like the ones with the monster collecting? Do you like the job classes, casinos? What really gets you?
Overall, I don't really care about much of that stuff, in my opinion. I just really like the games. I could do without it or do with it. I do like the job classes, though, in some way. Not the part where when you want to change one, you have to go all the way back to level 1, where you're at, like, level 30 or something. So that's my only issue with that. That's like Dragon Quest 9. So casinos, I do like the casinos because you can unlock pretty cool stuff in 11 with the casinos. So yeah, that's basically it with the mechanics. Also the what's the mechanic called in 11 or 9 where you like get pepped up? Is that what it's called? Pepped?
Yeah, pep powers.
In 11 it's the pep, and then 9 it's just the tension again, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Coup de grace.
Like that. Mm-hmm. That's also a good one. But yeah, that's basically it with the, functions. Everything else with Dragon Quest is just fine with me.
Nice. All right, Jacob. So on to the reason you're here tonight, because you contacted me last month, and we're talking about a couple things, and we thought you mentioned it, and I was like, yeah, that'd be something cool to talk about. I mean, how many times have we had translators on here? Just today, actually, I've been watching someone on GBA Temp has been playing around with the Itadaki Street Vita version. It got menu translated a year and a half ago, 2 years, and I'm like subscribed to one topic on GBA Temp, and it gets touched maybe once a month for the past year. And then all of a sudden, like the past 2 weeks, it has blown up. There's been like 20 posts. Some guy posts like 2 times a day. I'm modding this in. I've made this tool. I can do all this. I can make this. Look, I changed the front screen menu. And I kind of messaged him today, and I was like, hey, do you want me to add you to a bunch of different Discords, because I've done this podcast, and my God, I can't even count how many times we've talked to translators and modders and stuff so far. And he's like, yeah, sure. And added him to 4 different Discords, and he's looking for someone to help translate, but he's got all the tools to inject it all. And the stuff like when Liam, we talked to Z6N4 years ago, and he couldn't get the text box size to increase. This guy's already got that figured out for the Vita version of this. So, I was talking to him back and forth, and I said, heck, even tonight we've got a modder coming on the show. I feel like we do this all the time on our podcast. So good to have you on here. How did you even get into modding Dragon Quest games, or modding in general?
So, modding in general, long story. Not really. Anyway, so in 2014, I was just a middle schooler. So, it was pretty a long time ago. I didn't have a good computer. I didn't have really enough resources. But I really enjoyed Kirby's Return to Dreamland on the Wii. It was like my favorite game, and I've always wanted to mod it to look like it was its canceled version from the GameCube era because, it fascinated me. And I worked on that for a very long time. I met people on the way. This guy named, Star Abraham, he's a famous Kirby artist. He knows a lot about it. So, he helped me with it. It was a good time, modding that game. I kind of just drifted away from it, because of the community. So, I got out of that. With Dragon Quest, though, I got into that pretty recently. I went into the modding server because, I used to do model importing, sound importing, stuff like that, like the loops, stuff like that. It was very easy at the time because, I was so young and I didn't have to worry about, classes or anything like that. But now it's kind of a hassle on me because it's, college and stuff. Anyway, so when I started Dragon Quest modding, I saw a guy's YouTube video of a work in progress on a Dragon Quest XI 3DS mod. He didn't have it completed, so I gave him a helping hand. I knew a lot of resources, how to loop and how to do all of this stuff. I helped him do that, and he completed the mod. But at first, it was a hassle because we had a group chat with, me, him, and another friend of mine. So we started doing this. We were trying to grab as much Dragon Quest XI music as possible. We would go to, the Dragon's Den, find MP3 files, until we got the actual game rip from the PC version. So I sent that over to him. We looped it, and we import it into the game, and it's perfect. The videos I sent before were other work in progress of me actually making a work in progress for the loops for some of the music, I think there was some music that was used in Dragon Quest XI that I looped, but I put them over different tracks. So, that helped a lot with the mod team over there in the group chat. But yeah, that's basically about it. But I do have other plans for other Dragon Quest modding. So recently I've been looking
go
into...
ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
I was going to say, who is there anyone specifically who motivated you to get into modding?
To be honest, not really. But in a sense, yes. The people over at the Dragon Quest community, because no one's modded these games before, with the orchestrated mod, Dragon Quest XI never got an orchestrated version for the original release. So, I saw some guy, just was about to not do it. So I motivated him to do it by giving him all these tools, helping him out with the looping. Someone else helped him out with the looping, which is a friend of mine who was doing another mod for Dragon Quest VIII with his own music from some other RPG. I forgot what it was, but that's basically it for that.
Awesome.
So go back to what you were saying. What is what are you getting into next with your modding?
Well, so it's actually a very big surprise, but since I'm on this podcast, I can say it. So we're basically, me and a friend are going to add the orchestrated soundtrack into the Super Nintendo versions of the game. And this is how.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Whoa. So Bu, which you mentioned earlier, who made the translation, made a chip called the MSU1, which actually allows you to put streamed audio files onto, I think, I'm not 100% sure on this, a flash card, which has the chip in it. My friend has a Super NT and a flash card, so he can, test it out on there. So we're planning to do Dragon Quest 1, Dragon Quest 2, and Dragon Quest 3, maybe 5, and 6, if we can get to that. But there's only a couple issues. We have to learn how to do this coding. It's not as simple as 3DS modding, where you can easily just, get the files, replace them, and, put them in there. With this, you have to get the files. You have to find a way to code it in with the codecs where the actual music is being streamed from the Super Nintendo. So it's very confusing. I'm very new to it, but I know at some point we're going to get it done very soon.
So would this be, which versions of the games would this be? Would this be the mobile versions?
The Super Nintendo versions.
Literally the Super Nintendo version. So how does that work? How is the Super Nintendo, assuming it would be an emulator or even just the regular system, what kind of quality sound are we getting here out of the orchestral version from a system that's 16-bit?
So there, like I said before, Bu made a chip. think it was them that made the chip, made a chip where it would be able to stream audio files instead of, like byte files. I think that's what they use for Super Nintendos. So you would have to have like a special cartridge. You can't actually have the original cartridge for, to play the game. So you're going to have a ROM or your own dumped file. You just have to patch it.
Yeah.
People have done it with Chrono Trigger. People have done it with Kirby Superstar. People have done it with multiple games, but no one's done it with Dragon Quest. So we're like, you know what? Why not? So yeah, it's going to take a while because we just have to learn how to do the coding for this.
Yeah, if I could just take a pause for a second and just I just make this comment. I love the fact that fans are able to take these games and do so much more with them than the actual companies are able to legally.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This would be a huge deal with a lot of effort for them, all the the rights and everything. Or maybe they just want to make something new and rehash it like the mobile versions or something like that. But all of these games, they're like 20, 30 years old. They're still playable, and now you're modding them in a way that's enhancing the experience beyond what it originally was, and that's just remarkable to me.
Also. Oh, go ahead.
No, just thank you for breathing new life into these classics.
We're also planning to retranslate all the Super Nintendo games. Not saying the old ones are bad. They're just old. They're old, and we have the scripts for the mobile versions, which are more updated. So I know how to actually do translation things. It's by going hex editing, something like that. I would just have to manually translate it from, Japanese to DeepL with English, or get a friend. I have another friend who can, read Japanese and translate it for me. But I don't want to put him through the trouble of that. So I would have to manually do this with each line of text, replace it with the mobile script, and make sure it's correct. So this is going to take a while. I'm pretty sure the music mod's going to come before, and if I'm going to do the music mod, it's going to be the Japanese version, and maybe the American version if it's going to work. So
back it up a second. I know you said, I thought I heard you say Chrono Trigger. There have been people who have done this to Super Nintendo games?
Yes, there have. There is a orchestrated mod for Chrono Trigger.
All right.
Sorry, and I think you touched on this before, but this actually works. If you have a ROM, it'll work on a regular emulator, and you'll hear that orchestral quality sound.
I think that's how it works. I haven't tried it out myself, but yes, I think it does. Yes, it does.
Wow.
But if you want to try this, I think you have to have an EverDrive and a regular Super Nintendo, and there you go.
Oh, it's not something you can do on a PC or an Android.
Oh, you can. Yes,
phone?
you can.
Oh, okay.
Definitely, yes.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I'd be really interested in playing the original NES Dragon Warrior with orchestral sound. I think that'd be insane. That'd be so good.
Mm-hmm. So maybe a retranslation as well.
Yeah.
I have time. I will have time during my college break in December, so there might be more, to come.
So we've recently had detranslations. Now we might get a new retranslation.
Retranslations, nice.
Mm-hmm.
So can you literally mod any song into the game? So you roll up into Hato to Ain't Nothing But a G Thing and Snoop Dogg singing.
Definitely. Definitely, probably.
You go to Octagonia.
The second I saw that question on there, I'm like, oh man, I don't know where this is going, but.
Oh yeah, you go to Octagonia and Weird Al's Polka Power's playing. There's something really on the contrast with the actual scenery.
Yeah, my friend does have all the symphonic suites, every single one actually. So he's going to rip those for me, and an FLACC format. I think that's how it is. So it's very high quality.
Nice.
We'll see how that goes through the Super Nintendo and output.
Wow. Yeah, that's a really cool concept. I had no idea that the hardware was able to even handle that.
It's not the hardware; it's a chip in a cartridge that can do it.
Okay, I see.
It's not actually the Super Nintendo hardware that can do it, because if it was a Super Nintendo hardware, it
wouldn't work, right?
Would not work.
Yeah, okay. So that's kind of like what they did with Mode 7, right? So that wasn't in the original hardware, so they built it into the cart.
Yeah, definitely. So EverDrives do that with, I know there's a Sega Genesis EverDrive, which actually has CD function. So if you just put a CD-ROM in it, it's going to work perfectly with the sound without actually having a Sega CD.
Awesome.
So I know you were touching on this earlier because one of the games I want to say for the 3DS had an issue with the sound looping, right? Was it Dragon Quest VII where there was a pause between looping, there was a looping problem, or was it with the overworld music always starting over every single time you got out of a battle?
No. Actually, no. When I did Dragon Quest VII, I wanted to do it by myself. I know there's already someone that already made a little mod for it, but I wanted to do it myself. So I got the Japanese version, and I basically ripped the Japanese version. I bought the game for like $5 on eBay.
Yeah, Japanese versions of used games are so cheap.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got that. I got the music files from that. I literally dragged and dropped them into the American version. They worked perfectly. So there was no problem with that. But with 11, there was a problem. Because, the MIDI, there's no other existing format, with the Dragon Quest XI Symphonic Suite, because it came with the Deluxe Edition, or S, or whatever you call it. It came with that. So, the 3DS version and the Switch version did not share the same format between the audio files, so it was kind of hard to do that, because at first, me and a friend, we ripped the demo version. We couldn't get the music out of that, because it wouldn't work through this program called Fubar, so we were like, okay, whatever. So I went into the Dragon Quest modding server, I asked one of the guys, take as much time as you need to rip the actual soundtrack. They did that, and there we go. And I just had to loop in some of the files, but the other guy that I was working with actually did the rest of it, but it worked for him, and he released it, so.
Pretty cool.
So are you able to mod sound effects as well as music?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I've done that with I've done that with Wii games before. With 3DS games, I'm pretty sure I can do that, yes.
Okay, so if you
I was going to say, are the sound effects in there as the same file type as the original longer music, or no?
I haven't checked. As far as I remember, I think so, but I haven't checked through the files, but I'm pretty sure they are, because usually I've checked other 3DS files and they are the same format, so yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. It's just it's sound. It's long sound, short sound. Why not do the same?
Yeah.
I was curious about that, because I've been playing Earthbound with my son as well, and we got to there's a couple of bosses in there. It's just like a big pile of puke that belches.
Yeah.
And he thinks that's absolutely hilarious, and I think that's absolutely hilarious that he thinks that's absolutely hilarious. So yeah, I was curious of what other burps and farts we can stick into Dragon Quest XI during dramatic scenes.
Yeah, could be possible. Yes.
We'll have to get on that. Modding community. There's your next project after we do the entire Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg's Chronic album into Dragon Quest XI towns.
Oh man! So I think you've mentioned this already, Liam. Your last question, I think.
Future projects.
Yeah, Jacob's already told us a lot of his future projects.
Yeah. Anything else Dragon Quest related that you haven't mentioned?
I have been planning to put the Dragon Quest X Symphonic Suite into 11 for PC. I just haven't gotten around to doing that yet, but at some point I will, because there aren't enough music mods for 11S on PC. So I do like the Dragon Quest X soundtrack.
Yeah, it's really it's nice that I think it's large, because I think for every version they add more music, or are they reusing the same? I forget if we had someone.
I know we asked No Warrior this. I think she said there's at least a little bit new music in each soundtrack, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got the sense that the soundtrack is much larger than the version that we got for the Symphonic Suite. But I did have another question. So are you doing any kind of graphic modding as well, in terms of switching up sprites or changing out characters or things like that?
Maybe in Dragon Quest 1 and 2, and maybe 5 for the Super Nintendo. For 5 for the Super Nintendo, I definitely want to get the DS sprites for the landscapes and the characters. I do not like the sprites for the original Dragon Quest V for the Super Nintendo, because it looks like an NES game, but with higher colors, 16-bit.
Yeah.
But I am planning to put the the DS sprites for Dragon Quest 1 and 2. I haven't seen those ones recently, but for some of the battle sprites, I might change them. I have a friend who does sprite art. I might grab him, pay him to, make some new sprites for the game, because it kind of looks like the colors don't look that great on the remakes, in my opinion.
Gotcha. I'd be curious to. I was just watching the Dragon Quest Able anime, and I was thinking about how like it would be cool to play a round of like Dragon Warrior 3 with all of the characters that look kind of similar to that. You'd have to take the female soldier for Daisy and like switch up the colors from red to blue. And you probably have to get the most creative with Janek, but yeah, it could be done. It'd be interesting. The other thing I was thinking of is one of my longstanding problems with 7 is that I love Prince Kiefer as like the best character, and he doesn't stick around. And
yeah, I don't like that either.
And in the remake, like they had every opportunity to, like they did with some of the games are in the bonus dungeon. A character who is instrumental in driving the plot in the beginning who died, you can get them back. If you beat the bonus dungeon, they never even considered that with Kiefer. It's just like, no, he's really gone. So
yeah, I know that sucks about the game.
Yeah,
I still have that theory about him being that one, boss in the game. Forgot his name.
I don't remember. Was there someone dressed in his clothes?
I don't know. I don't really remember from that. But I remember watching a video about it, so.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, those are the other mod that I was thinking of that I'd love to do I'd love to play if anyone ever did it, would be like the reversal Dragon Quest V. So you play as either Bianca or Nira, and as the main, and then you'd have to the main hero, and then you eventually have to pick between marrying Henry or the hero from Dragon Quest V. And then that changes the color of your kid's hair. Maybe it's green, or and then also I like they really shortchanged the daughter in that game. She's not even in the movie. She can't equip any of the legendary equipment or anything like that. So I would give her some props too, and make it not just like
leave her out.
Not just not just hero, like legendary hero is the boy, but like they're both. They both can equip certain. And they're both necessary for the plot.
When they combine their twin powers, they become a legendary hero.
And they got a little space monkey named Glick, and they combine their Wonder Twin powers.
They need pet powers. They need the dual pet powers, like 11.
Yeah.
You can only do certain attacks when you have both of them pepped fully. See, game systems that weren't around 25 years ago.
Oh, the other mod, because I've got so many of these ideas with no ability to execute on any of them. Slime Mori Mori 1 has never been translated fully. There's been a halted project since like 2003 or something. I don't even know if the game's that old yet, but there's been a halted project for a number of years now, and nobody's fully translated. The game is actually playable without, but to fully understand the plot, it would be nice to have an English version of that. So if anyone out there wants to take on Jacob, if you're looking for a new Dragon Quest game to translate, there's one right there.
That's something. But isn't the first Mori Mori the DS version, or is that just like a rebranded version?
No, the DS version is Rocket Slime. I believe Mori Mori is GBA, right, Platy?
Yep.
Yeah.
The original one was GBA. Mori Mori 2 is what came over here as Rocket Slime.
Yep. So Mori Mori 1 is essentially Rocket Slime without the tank battles, which makes Rocket Slime a better game. But it's still super fun to play through Mori Mori. I love the slime rescue thing. That's probably why I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy 3 as much because they took that out. But
what?
But didn't they?
You still got to do. You got to rescue.
We had a modder for, or we had a translator on for that game. I thought they said they took.
That was our first episode, or after Woodus, that was episode 3. Yeah, no, I played that game. I mean, you don't have to collect all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? I guess you're not really rescuing them. You're just saving towns and going through. Yeah, here we are 2.5 years since when I played that game. But yeah, like because in Rocket Slime you had to save 100 of them, right? Wasn't that the
Yep.
punchline? You had to get 100, find 100
Yeah,
slimes.
they send you letters and everything, so it'd be cool to have those translated as well.
Oh, that's
But,
true.
Might add an orchestrated soundtrack to that.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
I know. I don't know if it has exclusive music in the third one. I haven't played the third one yet.
I think some of the music is the same between GBA, like the same music score anyway between GBA and DS. I don't know about 3DS, but it's the same. Like I guess they really only wrote one musical score for that.
Mm-hmm. Same with Dragon Quest Swords. I'd like to, mod that game as well. Never played it. I mean, I need to play it first.
I'd like for someone to mod Kenshin Dragon Quest so that it actually works.
Mm.
Because the hardware is so shitty. That game really was from 2003. I bought a copy of it recently, and it didn't even work. So there's something wrong with the sensor, not picking up the sword. But
you mean 2006? I guess you said 2003.
Swords is a really old game.
Wait,
it's like no, not Swords. Sorry, Kenshin Dragon Quest.
Kenshin is kinda, the standalone.
It's kind of like a prequel, a spiritual prequel to Swords.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
looking at sword and the sensor. So that's the one I bought recently. Tried to get it to work, and it just like wouldn't. It wouldn't. It's like the sensor's not even connected.
Yeah,
and then I searched online. I did research on it, and it's like so many other people have had this problem. It's just the hardware breaks down over time. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I can roll the dice and see if I can get another working one. but yeah, it's a gamble, the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at this thing on Google right now. Yeah, that thing's not going to work over time. Man, yeah, looks fun though.
Yeah, it looks a lot of fun. And there's even a guy who got it to work with just barbells. So it's like any kind of shiny metal, or any kind of shine. Like he's there, he's like swinging the barbells, and it's like making the sword slash, and he's like killing slimes and working out at the same time.
Yeah, I noticed a lot.
Talk about what was the crap I bought it? What's the Wii Fit? Not Wii Fit.
Oh, Ring Fit Adventure.
Ring Fit Adventure. Before.
That looks super fun. Is that good?
You know what? I have a hard time like getting in front of the TV and doing it. It's not bad. I enjoy doing it when I do it. I like that was the one thing I couldn't find during the pandemic for the longer time. I've encountered a Switch in the wild before I found them again, and then had to go through I had to set up a Discord alert and quickly order it the second it came on Amazon before it sold out in 5 minutes.
Gotcha.
But I played it a dozen times. I liked it, but if I was swinging barbells at frickin' slimes, I might get more workout in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I saw that game at Walmart for $80. I was gonna buy it, but I don't really have a place where I'm at right now or actually I have time to do it either way. Schoolwork, so kind of sucks.
I just want to get really jacked, and then someone asks me like, "Hey, man, how did you get so in shape?" And I'd be like, "I play Dragon Quest."
I played a Nintendo game.
Yeah, I play Dragon Quest Swords. What? So where? What's the best way to to find your mods so that people can upload them and get that orchestral sound or any other music mods that you're working on?
So I think Game Banana would be the best place to download them because that's where I'm going to start uploading them. So
awesome. And which name do you upload them under? JXR or SnubSlime?
I'm probably going to start uploading them under JXRS more often now because I never used the username SnubSlime. I haven't used that in I don't know since like March maybe. So
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you get if you get a link, we'll put that in the show notes.
Definitely. Yeah. I love these conversations. It's just so fascinating, like what you can do and really just take ideas and run with them. And even just like once you figure out how to perfect it with orchestral sound, just doing like the silly stuff, like adding polka music or some. Or,
we definitely could do that. Yeah, I could do that for the lulz. Yep.
Yeah. But, all right. Patty, do you have any other questions?
No, I think you've covered a lot of that. You've got a lot of what is it, pots in the fire going here, a lot of plans, and a lot of these sound really cool. I'll be honest, Liam's all excited about the Super Nintendo. I have never played the Super Nintendo versions of these games.
Not even
played
3?
them. I like them. I like
not
3.
even
Yeah.
not even
Not even-
3.
3 is the best one because it's got all the animated monsters.
I knew you were going to say that.
You know, yeah,
Uh,
because I say that every episode. But
You say that every episode. By the way, Liam, what game did they first start putting animated monster sprites in?
Well, Platy, it's still the definitive edition in my book until HD 2D comes out,
Okay.
and that's probably likely to blow it completely out of the water. But
Watch them release like.
Are they
Dragon
gonna be-
Quest 1 and 2 with it?
yeah, oh yeah,
I really
Compilation.
I hope they can do that. I mean, honestly, what is it? They're going to have 90% of the assets. If
Yeah,
you do
Yuffie
Dragon
Hori even
Quest
said
3.
that.
Yeah.
well, do you think now that Koichi Sugiyama's passed that they'll actually put orchestral sound in from the beginning?
I'm pretty sure they were going to do that in the start because the trailer was orchestrated. Also, it's a mainline game, so of course they're going to do that. Maybe.
I sincerely hope so.
When they come out with the, what is it, 3S HD, a 2D HD version S, a year and a half after they get the other one out.
Oh yeah, the definitive edition.
The definitive edition
Yeah.
2D.
They'll have the
HD
monster medals added back in.
3S.
I think, what was I going to say? I think they only really use MIDI soundtracks for spin-offs because, like, why would spin-offs need an orchestrated soundtrack? Like, there's no reason for them to have that, that type of quality. If you want to get that quality, just buy a mainline game. Well, the ones that have it.
I don't remember. Did the Hero series have orchestral soundtracks? I feel like
The Heroes series did not have orchestral
They didn't.
soundtracks.
Okay.
But that is something I'm planning maybe in the future to mod in. If I can,
All right.
if I have $120 to buy both of the games on Steam.
Yeah, I really like how Heroes 2 handled that, where you're just walking in the field, and then all of a sudden the battle starts, and you're already in the field, but the music changes. You
Yeah,
know,
no, it's really good. I like Heroes too.
Yeah,
That's my favorite
it's a
one.
really really cool feature.
Yeah,
I need to put
nice and,
more time in that.
seamless.
Also, the other, it's probably because they didn't want to license it either, so it's like, it's a hassle to do that. It
Right,
costs
yeah,
money.
'cause
It costs money
You have
to do
to pay the
orchestrated stuff.
entire orchestra, right?
Yeah, I know, it costs a lot. So,
yeah. So that might actually be a hindrance for future releases.
I wonder who's going to do it in the future,
Yeah, just get
So-
one guy to play all the instruments
Yeah, one guy.
and just play and just dub them all together.
Yeah,
And then
do
you
other
only have to pay one
Japanese
guy.
series- I guess we're probably not the people to ask about this, but like, do other Japanese series have this problem
With what?
with like
Orchestrated?
orchestral music or the music in general, like needing to be jump through a million hoops to get through stuff?
Yes.
They do. Okay.
Yes. The reason 8 and 7 for the 3DS was, orchestrated was because, it was kind of like a big thing in Japan for them to have, because they were basically deluxe editions of these already existing games because, the
Yeah.
PS1 didn't have orchestrated music, the PS2, Dragon Quest 8 didn't have orchestrated music, but, the American we got it. We were lucky enough to get it. So, it's basically their, little treat, for it because they originally weren't going to come to America, so.
Oh yeah.
Since, they weren't planning on doing that, they're like, okay, why should we license this again? Like, come on. This is just put the MIDI music. I mean, the MIDI music's fine. I really don't care for it, but, I kind of rather have orchestrated music than, MIDI.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Wow, so music rights, and this is music rights in general, like if you're on Spotify or whatever, it must be so much more expensive for classical music where you've got so many players, so many musicians
Mhm.
at once you have to pay. That's crazy. I'm surprised they don't have like a flat fee deal, like where you
But-
get a bunch of money up front.
I was gonna say, but do they have that deal where or does it just listen? We're gonna pay the orchestra $10,000 for this song, period. Then we own the rights to this forevermore.
Right.
Like,
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't
If
really know
anyone-
much about the orchestrated licensing, but it does cost
Mhm.
money. I mean, just
Yeah,
if you want to listen
yeah.
to music, just buy the CD, rip it yourself, put it on iTunes. Your little personal soundtrack. So,
Yeah, you kind of have to because Spotify doesn't have any of them.
or you can just go on YouTube. That's what
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, Spotify
So-
has a lot of fan stuff, fan covers, which is cool of its own right because some of it is really professional quality sounding. But yeah, I wish that I could get some of my orchestral stuff onto Spotify so I could just kind of loop it in with some of my other playlists and stuff. But
Mhm.
maybe we need to start modding Spotify.
modify.
Yeah, let's put an
Yeah,
orchestrated soundtrack
You have
in
your own.
Spotify.
I put mod it into Spotify. Nice. All right.
Alrighty. Well, I think we can wrap this up and start our conclusion here, because that's it for this episode of Slime Time. Thanks so much, Jacob, for contacting me and for being on
no
tonight.
problem. No problem.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really interesting topics and stuff to talk about, and it's great to see what you've been working on.
You know, different ways to. I'm a lot of usually play it once and I'm done with it, but hearing all these things, I'm like, that'd be not you, no.
Yeah, no, I'm a replayer. I'm a habitual.
We saw your Twitter poll. I saw that Twitter poll.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was completely. Completely about like seeing. You know, you and I are two contrasting sides of the coin for that. You know, you you play a game once and move on, and I replay the stuff that I love over and over again throughout the years, and now with my kids. So yeah, it's interesting. So you get to play more unique stuff, and I get to relive those moments on some of the old stuff.
For better and worse, man. For better and worse.
Yeah.
Play a bunch of stinkers.
Yeah. Nice.
Speaking of stinkers, you know, the only time we ever mention Patreon on our podcast is when we say we don't use Patreon. We're just longtime fans that want to talk about the game series and the games that we know and love so much. But if you have any money that you'd love to donate, consider sliding on over to the Dragon's Den at www.woodus.com/den. You can click on support this site to directly donate. But, you know, Woodus has owned and maintained the Dragon's Den fan site for over 20 years now. He's got his brand new Amazon affiliate link that's probably not as brand new, but like 3 or 4 months old now. But any old purchases you make, and, you know, go buy a new microwave, go buy, you know, a new car or something on Amazon.
Yeah,
refrigerator. Oh, yeah, the refrigerator. My gosh, I forgot my own running joke. But, you know, go buy something on Amazon, and, you know, Woodus can probably use that as to pay the sales tax on his next cup of coffee or something. I'm sure it'll give him a little something.
And to advertise with us, reach out at slimetimepodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments for us, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at DQSlimetime.
Yes, consider joining in tons of DQ discussions at the Dragon's Den forums. One of the few remaining forums still around. You can find it at the Dragon's Den main page, or just go directly there, www.woodus.com/forums. Still there posting stuff that I see. I was putting a link over just today about the Itadaki Street Vita translation effort, kind of updating like, hey, look, this has got some new life. They just started a ROM hacking post about that today, so hopefully that's getting a little bit working on.
Awesome. And come hang out with us and other rabid Dragon Quest fans on the more official Everyday Dragon's Den Discord server.
Yes, we would like to thank everyone that always makes our podcast possible, like Brian, aka Woodus, for his support of the series and this podcast, and of course keeping the Dragon's Den lights on for decades now.
And thanks to Liamland Plattym3 and the Descendants of Erdrick for allowing us to use their music for our podcast. Descendants of Erdrick is a video game tribute band from Austin, Texas. Check them in their most recent album, Advent, at www.descendantsoferdrick.com or on Twitter at @doferdrick. And check out Amanda Lepre streaming on Twitch.
Our thanks, as always, to Dwayne Bullock, our wonderful graphic artist, Dragon Quest fan, for making the awesome artwork cover for this podcast. Dwayne was on the original iteration of Slime Time about a decade ago now, and he's been on many of our episodes. You can check out more of his work at Dwayne Art on Instagram or his website, dwaynebullockart.bigcartel.com.
And if you're looking for more Dragon Quest Slime Time, check out our earlier episodes on Dragon's Den, Anchor FM, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and more.
Bye, everyone.
Dragon Quest Slime Time, sliming off.